All right, folks. We have a product demo today brought to you by yours truly, Spinz product manager, and then also proud product gym grad. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you, Rich?
Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, so do you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about your background and then what this app aims to go ahead and solve?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Ugo for short. Product manager for data and delivery at a company called Spinz. We do data for CPG and partner with a bunch of different large, small, business CPG brands in working with their data. Also, product gym alum. And yeah, great to be here. Talking about what I built, the app is called Perfecto, which I will hop into shortly. But just to give a bit of context, um, so I work with a team of developers, and every day we do pair programming in our company. And so every day, so information doesn't get siloed with any one person, we usually will rotate pairs. And what we were finding was that we're using this app called Parrit. Sorry, Parrot, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about Parrot, but it's a legacy application that has been around for a while. It's been a great tool, and that's what they were using. But just with the current workflow today, it had its limitations, and the devs were complaining about it pretty frequently. So I thought, hey, why don't I go ahead and see if I can build something that would replace this and meet the needs of a more current modern workflow. So Perfecto is basically a web-based pair programming management tool that helps software development teams organize daily pair rotations efficiently and fairly. Um, the main problems that we was trying to solve with it was inefficient pairing decisions. So every morning, we'd spend an additional minute or two just figuring out who should pair with whom because the recommendation engine for Parrot isn't really effective. Like you would literally see it pair the same people again who had just come off pairing. And so there has to be manual intervention there. And that just led to inefficient use of time. There was also no way to lost context and continuity. So when the pairs rotated daily, context might be lost because, again, Parrot didn't really keep track of who was carrying context, so that's something we had to do manually. So by carrying context, I mean the person who had stayed on the previous day would rotate off, and then the new person who just come on would stay on, and then a new pair would come. So it didn't really have a feature to keep track of that. And then also if we had like some solos, we had to keep a separate spreadsheet to track who was up for solos every day, or if we had uneven pairs a certain day and had to go solo because either someone was out of work or we had someone out of office or someone else joined the team. So all those were kind of things that Parrot didn't really address, and so I wanted to make sure those were features that were um, included in Perfecto. So I'm going to share my screen and then we can do a quick walkthrough of the application. Are you able to see?
I'm able to see, man. I mean, why are you about to get started on this? If it sounds to me like there's these problems, right? Like why do people use Parrot? Are there really no other alternatives out there?
I'm not, I'm sure there's other alternatives. I didn't really explore it further than the one that we were currently using. I kind of feel like that's, well, there's probably not one that's, um, what screen am I sharing?
I just saw the Perfecto screen and then a snippet of the Parrot right behind it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Uh,
So we're sharing
what
the
I saw.
screen. That's weird. Okay, so you see the Perfecto app now, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, yeah. I did try to look around a little bit. I didn't really see too much that was similar to Parrot. There are other applications where it may be built into like a broader tool, but it's not specifically like for this, just for managing pairs. So, to be fair, I didn't necessarily do a super deep dive. Um, I just knew what we used, and I figured there was a reason why our devs were using it. And so I know there's the ease of use is with Parrot is something that is obviously attractive. And so I still wanted to maintain that um without like overcomplicating it, right? So here's I'll just have some screenshots because the Parrot app is actually down now for some reason, so I can't actually log in.
I
I can
appreciate
log in from my work computer for some reason, but from my non-work computer I can't. But anyway, it like let's see, let's see, maybe today will work. Oh, I keep this on the wrong keyboard. Parrot IO. Yeah. So anyway, so I do have screenshots because I did use these screenshots. Another thing I do is I will generally talk to Claude or I used to use ChatGPT. I use Claude now more, but use that as a thought partner for kind of planning out these builds and even like write the prompt, get the prompts written in there and everything. So these are screenshots of this is the main interface here when you come into Parrot. Um, So you'd create pairs here, and then you'll just drag and drop them onto um, these different boards that are here. So and then when you would hit this recommend pairs button, so you'd reset pairs, all these people would get moved back to this section, and then you hit recommend pairs, and then it would add them here. So what, a lot of times you'd see it would recommend the same pairs from people who would just um, come off pairing. So their recommendation engine was not the best, to say the least. And then there's no functionality for soloing. If you move someone to out of office, it didn't exclude them from pairing, all those sorts of things. So without further ado, let's jump into Perfecto. I set it up so you could log in with Google or email. All right. So the first screen you come to when you do log in, here you can create a project. So if you're the team leader or whoever's managing the project, you can create one and then share that project name and password with your team. I'm gonna join an existing, or if you have a existing project, team members can just come and enter the project name and password and then join that project. I already have a couple set up here, so I'll just do this. Okay, so this is my version. Um, you see here, I have a separate, I'll just work with. So this is similar to what we saw in Parrot where we have the floating pairs here. I can add someone else here. I'll just add you type it on the wrong keyboard. Teammate 10, for example. And then I'm actually going to reset the pairs. First of all, I will remove context, but I will show that. Well, actually, no, I'll leave that for now. So this is what I was saying. With Parrot, if I were to hit reset pairs now,
it.
everyone would get reset to this floating pairs. But again, if I want to have a someone who no, this guy was soloing, so I'll leave that. If I want to have someone who's carrying context into the next day, um, I'll move this person to out of office. So yeah, if I want to have someone who's carrying context for the next day, I don't want them to reset. I want them to stay here rather than resetting, then having to move them back again. It's just extra unnecessary steps. So, um, and then I created streams here of different work. So I don't know, let's say I want to do client issues as a stream. Oh, that already exists. That, for example. So it's added that stream now. So what I could do is I could just drag this onto one of these. Hey, we're done with the API work stream. Let's switch that out to client issues. API work goes back here. This pair is now working on client issues. Then I have teammate 4. I've now moved them to out of office, so they should be also excluded from the pairing. I have the solo queue here. You see teammate three, which is this person, is the next up for solo. So if I decide to make them go solo, then they will move to the back of the queue. I'll show that functionality shortly. So I'm going to go ahead and reset the pairs, and you'll see that the people with the stars are going to remain on the board. Hopefully, they will. Um, so now we know who's carrying context coming into today, let's say, for example. And then um, let's say that I go ahead and recommend pairs. What will happen now? So right now, teammate one, teammate six, and teammate three are context, right? If I recommend pairs, that should switch to the new people who are coming in. The star should switch. So let's see if that works. Okay. So it's recommended pairs. The star has switched to the people who are going to be carrying context today. And then let's pretend that's now tomorrow. I come in, I reset pairs again. Let's say, and you notice teammate four didn't get recommended, right? So let's say they're back from out of office. I reset pairs again. And then let's say that I want to make this person go solo. So in order for them to go solo, they actually have to be on the board. So let me just create. Oh, another thing I wanted to show is while I'm here, you can add in a Zoom link or because the pairs usually will work in if they're working remotely, they'll usually work in like a have a Zoom room where they're working or Teams, whatever they are. So you can add that link here. That's also something that Parrot didn't have. You'd have to like save that link somewhere else or it just wasn't, there was just no quick way to get to where people were working. So I can actually, so if you see, I didn't add one to this one, but here I have one. If I were to click on this, it would open up the Zoom room where they're working. So let's say that I wanted this person to be solo today. I move them to a board and then I hit go solo. So go solo, they're automatically now the context person because they're the only person. And then if I recommend pairs now, they will not get a pair because they're solo. And you saw they were the top one, they got moved to the bottom now. And then the person who's next up, teammate four, is now up for solo. So recommend pairs, and voila, they are now solo. And then you have all these other people in pairs. There's also so you can also see the and then let's say and it actually saves it automatically. You can also hit save pairing here. So let's say I decided that I wanted this person to also be solo and I wanted these guys to triple for whatever reason. I could move that there and I could also make this person so oops, clicked out of it by mistake. Apologies. Which one were we in? Um, I can also make them solo. And then they also get moved to the bottom. And then we could have triple, but then I can also save that manually. It does save it automatically when you recommend the pairs, but if I do some manual intervention, I can save it as well. We have the history here, so you can see this is stored for 30 days. You can see what I just did. You see who's solo today, and you can see the different teams. So if you do need to go back and review anything for whatever reason, you can do that. We have a help section here that kind of outlines how everything works. Um, a knowledge base, and then yeah, you can also switch to dark mode. Um,
That's important.
yeah, it is.
You don't realize until you get older. Uh,
So yeah, I mean that is in essence what this application does. It's something that software development teams can use, or anyone who does any kind of pairing from a team perspective. Um, at the end of the day, the goals are for fair pairing distribution. Users want to be able to pair with different teammates and maximize the knowledge sharing, and then context continuity and minimal daily overhead. So that's what those are the goals. goals with this, and then uh, going to be implementing this with my team next week. So I'm excited about that. Actually, it's gonna be actually out there in the wild now, and then continue to get feedback from them, and then iterate on any further development or features that make sense. But I've observed them using the application long enough now. I had a good sense of really what was missing from it. Oh, you can actually also delete the boards, let's say, for example, and then if I delete this, actually, they should. So yeah, the person gets moved back there if the board is deleted automatically and solo. Um, yeah, I worked with Parrot every day with my dev team, so had a good sense of what was missing, what they needed. So pretty confident that this will be a huge improvement on the current tool that we're using. But if there's things that need to be improved on, worked on, there's also an opportunity here to submit feedback. This comes to me. This gets stored in the back end once feedback is submitted here. So there's also the opportunity for people to do that. And then yeah, once this is in their hands and used and we start getting feedback, then I'll see if I'm able to expose it to other people, other teams with other teams within our company first, and then make it more commercially available and put a nice little paywall um, here.
Hey,
So,
what was, I mean, what did you use to go out there and actually build this out?
oh, this was in Lovable. You can see it still says Perfecto Lovable app here. I haven't. I'm going to get a custom URL do um, once I do decide to make it more widely available. But for now, I still just want to test it with my team internally, so I haven't. But yeah, I did all this in Lovable, and I just kind of show you my process. Like I said, I everything starts with a conversation with Claude or ChatGPT. This is literally where it started. So the first question I asked when I came to Claude, are you familiar with, I didn't even spell it. Oh, with a pair programming application called Parrit.io. So here I'm really just priming the AI to start thinking and start having a conversation. I haven't even asked to build anything here. So so I'm not specifically familiar, but it did some research, it understood. Then I uploaded, these are the same screenshots I showed you earlier. I uploaded these and I said, yes, I'm thinking of building something similar, blah, blah, blah. So that starts a whole conversation where we go back and forth. It's helping me think through different scenarios, all the functionality. I mean, this thing, this thing was quite a significant amount, but it was cool. And then, at the end of it, what I get out of this is, let's go to the bottom, is a number of documents. So I have a full PRD. I have a technical guide, and then I have a PRD that I will submit into Lovable in the knowledge or context, whatever they call it in Lovable. Um, so this is for my own personal use, the full PRD, and then the technical guide, I also will include that in Lovable. But those are my outputs from this conversation, and then I have another project where I'll actually uh, upload these documents to, and then ask it to write the prompts for me. Um, and then I'll start. I try to do them modular so I can um, test each one as we go. And so I will do all that in Claude, and then I will start feeding Lovable the prompts one by one, building step by step, testing everything as we go, and then when we're done, we have the application.
Yeah. Let's see here. Parrot, Claude. Yo, man, I love it. What's the next step after the team actually gets a chance to play with it?
Yeah, so after my team gets a chance to play with it, then hopefully I'll get other teams within our organization because we have a number of teams that use pair programming, get it in the hands of multiple teams. And then like I said, yeah, we'll put a way for people to pay for it. I'll add like some before you for anyone who would create my plan is that for anyone who can create a project, they would be the subscriber. People who are joining projects don't, can just join a project that a client has created. So in order to create a project, you'd have to subscribe. Figure out what the pricing on that would be, but so it would add some kind of integration here for a recurring monthly subscription.
Dude, man, I love it. Let's get some feedback from the team. Let us know how it is. We can help you take it to the next level.
Yeah.
We'd love to go out there, get the word out there. This is, it's actually pretty amazing what you can do right now with vibe coding because the other night we hosted a happy hour in New York. Turned out that the venue couldn't I checked it. It was 23 RSVPs.
Hmm.
And an hour before I took the train out to Grand Central, it turned out to be like 94 RSVPs, and people were just hitting it literally at the very last hour. We
Mm.
probably had upwards of like 100. And then when I got to by the time I got to the venue, like, yo, we can't house like so we actually, but they're nice about it. They said, we could do it next door. And I went on the Eventbrite app. There was no function to go out there and do an email blast with all these people
Mm.
at the same time. And then we came up with the idea on the spot. I was like messaging people manually. And we came up with this idea. Maybe if we logged on to the actual web application in Safari, right?
Hmm.
Maybe we could send it out that way. And we actually ended up doing that. But it just goes to show you that a lot of these apps, just like the DocuSign guy that I talk about, they're very legacy. They've already made their money. So they're chilling on maintenance mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, right for disruption, man. I hope this thing takes off. Let us know how we can help.
Yeah. And to be fair, Parrot was a free application and people could donate, but um so but it's been what people teams have been using for years. I think when did it come out? Like probably mid 2010s, somewhere around there. So
It felt like 2014, 2015.
yeah, so it's been around for a little bit. It's crazy to say that's a little bit really getting old now.
Yeah, it is, man. Everybody's uploading their 2016 photos on Instagram. That was like, damn, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
yo, thank you so much for all you do for the community as well. Perfecto. Okay. I'm gonna go out there and let you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, Rich, appreciate it.